Hello everyone, this is a quick tarot reading focusing on what's the best way for you to show up today. I just want to quickly mention that my next 7 readings are going to be focusing on the 7 deadly sins, which is pride, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath and sloth. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to approach them just yet, but my intention is to offer guidance or perspective or self-awareness. You know, there is, from me, absolutely no judgment. We all experience these energies in different ways throughout our lives, okay? So sometimes they're simply becoming aware of them is the first step towards understanding ourselves better and creating positive change. So that's why I'm wanting to do readings based on that. So going back to this one, what is the best way for you to show up today? And you have the Swan Spirit, time for a deep dive. You've got the Fool, the Seven of Swords, the Tower, and at the bottom of the deck you have the Queen of Swords. So yeah, the first thing I want to say is this reading feels like something that can no longer be avoided. The Swan asks you to go deeper, to stay on the surface, not to tell yourself you're fine if you're not fine, you know, not to avoid what you've been feeling. It asks you to dive beneath the surface, to be honest with yourself about what is really going on. And when I look at the cards, I notice that the Fool and the Seven of Swords seem to be looking away or avoiding that Tower. So yeah, it really does to me feel like avoidance or hesitation or knowing something needs to be addressed but not quite wanting to face it. The Fool really wants to move forward, but it's like he's been a bit careless and walking away from the Tower. The Seven of Swords wants to find kind of like another way around the Tower. But the Tower's like, no, this really needs your attention. Like, you can't avoid the Tower. So yeah, to me, something needs to be acknowledged, something needs to be said, something needs to be faced, okay? And what I find really interesting is actually how the Seven of Swords is sitting directly above the Queen of Swords. So my brain's going, like, picking up on things. But the Seven of Swords obviously has 7 swords, okay? And he's carrying 5 of those swords. So when I look at this image, it makes me really think about all the different thoughts we carry around us, fears, worries, assumptions, imagined outcomes, and sometimes even the stories we tell ourselves to avoid uncomfortable truth. So for some of you, one of those swords may represent a truth you've been reluctant to speak, whether that's to yourself or to someone else, because honesty might lead to change, confrontation, or a situation you'd just rather avoid, my darling. But with the Queen of Swords, she, if you look at her, is only carrying 1 sword. She doesn't carry the fear. She doesn't carry the excuses. She doesn't carry the what ifs. She carries the sword of truth. The sword, or the Queen of Swords is somebody that's actually extremely direct, very honest, very clear and confident in what she knows. She doesn't avoid reality and she doesn't sugarcoat it either, okay? So to me, that's the guidance of this reading. You don't need to carry 5 different worries, fears or possible outcomes today. You don't need to keep rehearsing every scenario in your head. You don't need to lie or make up shit. You don't need to avoid the conversation, decision or the truth. The best way to show up today is with honesty, to be honest with yourself, to be honest about what you're feeling, to be honest about what needs to be, changed or what needs to be said. The Tower isn't here to punish you. It's here to clear away what isn't working so something stronger take its place, okay? And the Swan is asking you to go deeper. The Queen of Swords is asking you to tell the truth, okay? So together, it kind of like they remind you that clarity and often arrives the moment we stop avoiding what we already know, okay? So be brave and face it, my darling. I wish you a wonderful day. And yes, next readings are based on the 7 deadly sins. So have a good day. Bye-bye.